Okay, my name's Bryant Zimmerman. I'm with Grand Dial Communications. I also have another business called Expert DV for design and vinyl. And with that particular organization, we do some fun shirt designs. We do a lot of shirt branding and things like that for businesses. We started that back about 4 years ago because we were doing robotics education, and we were doing a lot of robotics teams, and we needed T-shirts for the teams. So that's a little bit of a background, very quick background of kind of how our design and vinyl division became about. But what I want to go ahead and do tonight is share with you guys a couple of what I just went through starting at 6:30 to create a T-shirt for BarCamp, so I can have a T-shirt for BarCamp this year. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and share my screen. I'm hoping it actually lets me pick which screen to share. Okay, so this is screen one. Okay. Okay, so are you guys seeing my screen now?
Yep.
Okay. So what you're seeing right now is a product called Vinyl Master Pro. This particular product is what we use to do very quick layouts for creation of banners, shirts, hats, and pretty much the sky's the limit. We also use Illustrator, we use Inkscape, a number of different graphics creation programs, but this one's this is actually our cutting program that actually does the cuts on the plotter. But it's a powerful little program for graphic editing. So I'm going to go through the process of show you the process of what I did tonight to create the shirt. I went ahead and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and import the image, which the guys sent over to me. I'll go ahead and bring that down so that pops up, and it shows us the logo. This is the logo for BarCamp. And I go ahead and put it in. So I've got the nice logo here in my image. And the first thing that I want to do is, since that's a PNG, I need to turn it into a vector file that can be cut on a vinyl cutter utilizing a cut blade. So we're going to go ahead and take that image. And are the screens refreshing on you guys' end? Okay. So notice here when we bring this up, it says it's 4-color. It's got gray tones and everything. I really don't care about the tones. I want to flatten this down to just a 2-color image. So I've got my white and I've got my red. Okay. So I go ahead and I play with my colors. I go ahead and tell it I want to trace it. And I say, okay, yeah, that looks good. Now, if I needed to, I could keep playing with this. I could trace different colors in my images. So let's say I had like a 2 or a 3 or a 4-color image where and I wanted to keep those colors, I could actually trace them that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace and accept that. So now, if you look at this here, I've actually got a vector version of the logo. You can see here, those of you who have done vector work before, vector graphic work, you can actually see I've got vector points here. I could actually grab those points and pull it and adjust it and play with the logo should I desire to. Okay. So now that I've got the base logo, I want to go ahead and add the BarCamp around it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in some text. And then I want to find a font that's close. And I think okay, so we'll take Century Gothic for now. I get my BarCamp. I'll go ahead and make that Century Gothic as well. So as you can see fairly quickly here, I've been able to lay out a nice nice BarCamp logo. If I want to make the text a little bit bigger in comparison, I can just drag it and adjust my text to get it proportional. I can group my text together, and I want these to be centered. So what I'll do here is I'll do my alignments, align and distribute. So now I've centered up the text right underneath. Then I'm going to come up here and put in one of my favorite fonts is Cooper. It's a nice, bold, fun font. So now I've got a nice, fun logo here that I could then create and cut on a shirt. This is a two-color logo. We've got the red and we've got the black. Now I'm going to do the shirt on a black background. So I'm going to change my artwork size to 12 inches by 12 inches. I'm going to go ahead and group this together. And I'm going to kind of scale it up to a 12-inch palette so that I've got a nice size image here. And you can see now, if I want to make my width about 10 inches. So on the shirt, I would have, in this particular case, a 10 by 11 image. So that's a little aggressive, I think. I want the maximum dimension to be 10. Now, as I keep working this artwork here, I'm going to go ahead and I want this to be on a black shirt. So I want to see what it would look like on a black shirt. Okay, so I lose my black text underneath on the black shirt, obviously. So I want to ungroup this, and I'm going to select my texts. And I want to do those, let's say I want to do those in kind of a silvery color. I don't want them white, but I want them kind of a silvery color on my final shirt. Okay. So rather than mess with that, I've actually got this already pre-laid out. So you see basically what we get with a silvery gray with the red background on a black shirt. So this is basically what our logo would look like on a black shirt. Okay. So now that I've got my logo laid out, I can go ahead and send to the cutter file, to a cut file, to get it ready to process. Now you notice here in this cut file, I've got red and gray. What I did with this image is I actually took the image, and over here I can actually select the objects in a vector-based image. I actually selected the black box, and I told it that I didn't want that printable or cuttable. So I disabled that. So when I send to my cut file, I only get my two varying colors. So now over here in my cut file, I believe you should be able to see two pages. You see a page here with the red content and a page here with the silver content. Okay. And then what we can do is we can then pick one of those pages. In our cutter, we load up the vinyl that we want to do face down, and we send it to our cutter. Now we go through the whole process. We want to mirror it so that we're cutting the back side of the vinyl, where the glue is at, and we want it to advance the plotting after we're done. Now you notice here that I'm cutting this as 20-inch, I'm cutting this as a 10-inch by 10-inch approximately on that. And if I hit start, it goes ahead and sends it to my cutter. So let me see if I can actually find my videos here and bring them down. Bear with me just a second. I'm looking on my phone for my... Okay, I'm uploading my... Okay. Bear with me a second as my phone does the upload here. Let's see if I can actually get the video to a place I can show you guys here. Okay. So any questions while we're waiting here for my video to upload here?
Yeah, question. The size of the the media, the paper, whatever, the vinyl, is that larger than what you're intending on cutting?
Yeah, when I go into the cutter here, you can see that I've got my image media. Right here, I'm doing a 20-inch by 20-inch cutting area. I purchased my vinyl. You can get it in different sizes. You can get them in 12-inch widths, 15-inch widths, and 20-inch widths for heat transfer. So I tend to work on a 20-inch by 20-inch platform. That tends to be the size that I tend to go on. If we look over here on this this other layer, I did that as 24 inches by 19. Now, let's say I was going to cut a bunch of shirts, I can actually in the cut file come in here and duplicate. So I could actually then do a bunch of duplication, and in a single cut pass, I could cut 6, 8, 12 of these.
Okay, cool.
So I could queue it up over here on like the white. If I was going to cut this, I'm cutting this white. You see, there's a lot of wasted space here. The reason I did that was for convenience because of speed. What I can do is a lot of times when we do master cuts, we would take a copy of this image here. I would copy it. Yeah. So I would duplicate it, and then I would ungroup it, and I would take these individual pieces and I would smush them down together. and then I would duplicate them around, and that way when I cut them, I'm not wasting as much material. The downside of that is when I lay it out on the shirt, I have to lay those pieces back out individually.
Gotcha.
But I can save on a big project. This would save hundreds of dollars of material. So we could then keep our cost low for our customers. So that's how we lay it out, and then we can then send this to the cutter and multiple passes and things like that. But we can also, let's say if this was just 12-inch material, I could go ahead and size this for 12-inch material, and you could see then I could then lay out my cuts for based on a 12-inch material base rather than a 20-inch material base. That makes sense?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay.
So what is the cutter?
What is the
the
cutter?
cutter use? Yeah, is it like a knife, or is it a drill, or is it a laser?
I'm not using the laser. There are some guys who use laser. I use actually a knife cutter, and they're basically a plotter. If you guys are familiar with pen plotting, I'm going to see if I've got an actual video I took of it, but I didn't realize my phone was on. I didn't realize my phone was not on Wi-Fi, and so it wasn't uploading my videos. It uploaded all my photos, but it didn't upload the videos in a timely manner here. I'm going to see if. Okay, so I've got some of my videos now. So let's see which one this is. Okay, so that's me pressing this on. So let me see if I can find. Of course, it's choosing to upload them in a weird order here. Okay.
So this is a vinyl like heat press or versus like iron on transfer or?
Yeah, it's called vinyl transfer, but yes, it's a heat press method. And let me actually show you we'll see if I can get a few of the videos to upload here. Let me show you the process that I use to actually put them in the heat press process. So before I show you the heat press process, let's bring up a few of the photos. I apologize. Like I said, none of these have been vetted yet. It's literally as I was taking pictures here. Okay. Okay, let me see. 2 days ago, an hour ago. Okay, so we get down to the. Okay, so here's a couple pictures that I started with. Okay, so here's the vinyl as it came off the plotter. So I cut it off. I cut it and plotted it. And so what you see here in this picture, can you guys see the picture? So in this picture, this is the vinyl. So this is the red, and then this is the silver that's going to go onto the shirt. Now, once there's a tool here. Let me see if I got a picture of that. So here, what we do is we take this little weeding tool, which is like a dental pick, and we extract all of the vinyl that we don't want on the shirt. So the cutter traces the outlines. And what you see here is I've got the red section. So I cut that and I took all the vinyl off that we didn't want to keep. And then we have the silver sections, and I took all the vinyl off that we didn't want to keep using the weeding pick. So I did that from the back side. And then what I did is I composited the two together so that I could press it as one press. This is why this is for convenience sake. This is why I cut it as one big piece, the silver, because it was a quick layout. So it would have taken me an extra 15 minutes to do this. And I literally finished pressing this a minute and a half before we were supposed to start the presentation. So this is actually after I've taken the vinyl, it's been cut at this point, and I've taken the vinyl and we pulled it out. and it's laying on the shirt ready to go. So so let me go ahead and see if I can get this up here. So at this point, I put it on the heat press, and I put the graphic on it, and I did an overlay, a clear paper overlay, to stop it from scorching. And I've got an auto lift heat press, so after the 15-second window, it goes ahead and it pops up. Okay, so let's see. So as you can see, the plastic carrier is still on it. And so what we do is we pull that off of there, we let it cool down for about 2 minutes, and then I actually just peel the plastic right off of it. Okay. And the final output of that process, I would have liked a video showed you me actually peeling it off, but I couldn't hold the camera and use 2 hands to peel it. So the final process here, once it's peeled, is that shirt. So we've got the 2020 BarcampGR, and it's on the shirt. Let me go ahead and give me just a second, and I'll grab the shirt so you guys can see it.
And when his boss isn't looking, he's actually making quesadillas.
Oh yeah. Paninis.
Okay. I'll stand back a little bit. Can you guys see that okay?
Oh yeah. Turned out nice.
So I did silver here. So this is a silver metallic here. And I actually, to get a little bit of flair, I actually used a holographic red that's got some glitter in it, so it catches the light. And so that's the basic final output of creating the shirt. So now I've got I'm all ready for bar camp. I got my BarCamp 2020 shirt on. Let's see if we've got another video uploaded here. I'd really like to show you one of them doing the cutting.
So how much time, like start to finish, like after you start printing and then you're actually wearing your shirt?
Well, I started at 6:42, and my shirt was done at 2 minutes to 8. That was artwork, from artwork's creation start to actually having the shirt ready to put on. And the bulk of it was artwork. Artwork, the weeding and that took me about 6 or 8 minutes. And then the heat pressing, it took a half an hour for my heat press to heat up to temperature. We pressed this at 362 or 316 degrees. Okay. Okay, I'm pushing this up there. Let's see if it actually goes here.
The part with the dental pick type tool, how long did that take, that step?
Yeah, that was about, I would say that took me probably about 6 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
The glitter material that I used for the shirt is really thick. It's a much thicker material than what we use for a lot of things, but I wanted that heavier feel for this particular shirt. And so yeah, and I'll hold up my pick so you can see this is one of my actual new ones that I got. So you can see that it's got a nice little sharp point on it, I hope. And so it basically, like I said, it's almost like you were picking your teeth, but you're actually just picking that vinyl and getting into it. I have a friend who does a lot of this. She uses a little needle. She likes to get in real close and use a needle on it. But I do the pick. So Okay, so I believe, let me see if this video's up there, and then I think we're at our time. Just trying to, we use a product called Nextcloud, and I'll do maybe a presentation on Nextcloud here for one of the presentations. Okay, so this is actually the video where I'm starting the cut. Sorry about this, guys. It's downloading off of our cloud server. So once we start the cut, we open it up in the cutting software. We actually then send it to the cutter. And this is actually the cutter, the cutting head here. In this little silver chamber, there's a little barrel knife. And it basically then goes and does our, let me back it up here a second. So it's similar to the old pen plotters, if you've ever seen an old pen plotter, but it's using a knife instead of the pen plotter. So the process of actually cutting the flame on here was about 1 minute and 28 seconds, and that actually cut 2 of them because I get a 20-inch piece of material. I went ahead and cut 2 because I figured I'd make another shirt too. So but yeah, so that's the process of making a shirt from start to finish. Like I said, I do a lot of design work. We post some of our fun designs up on Expert DV. By the end of the weekend, I'll go ahead and try and get it posted up and make this available if people want to buy a shirt. And what we'll do is we'll donate a couple dollars of the sale of the shirts over to BarCamp. So if anybody wants to order one, we'll make it available. So if you have any questions, feel free to join in. You can go ahead and ask me offline. My name is Bryant Zimmerman. So you can feel free to join in or ask any questions. Otherwise, I'll let you all drop off if you want to go on to the next one.